You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodgers for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, and of course, his track towards the New York Jets. And we will also touch again on the speculation of him and the 49ers. Very quickly, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, go check out the podcast, subscribe over there, wherever podcast is available. And so we know that it had been about a month since the Jets and the Packers had talked business about their future Hall of Fame quarterback. And, well, the talks, as we stare down, we're just 4 days away now from the NFL draft. They have re-engaged. That's right. Oh, make the insert Transformers sound here. They have re-engaged in the trade talks to try to get this Rodgers deal done prior. About the closest thing we've got in this to a deadline really and truly is sort of the NFL draft, particularly that second day, because those are the picks that are on the table for Rodgers right now. There might be an Aaron Rodgers trade before the NFL draft begins on Thursday after all. NFL Network's Ian Rapoport reported Sunday that the Packers and the Jets have recently, quote, re-engaged in trade discussions about the star quarterback after a dormant couple of weeks. Actually, been longer than that, because that report came out about 7 days ago or more. The two sides hope to agree on a deal this week, although it is, quote, not imminent. What is your version of imminent? Is that like an hour from now? Is that a day from now? Is that like 4 days from now? Who knows? Who knows with these guys? With 2023 draft quickly approaching, it makes sense why the two sides are feeling urgency. BleacherReport.com, by the way. Perhaps the Packers, my God. Yeah, it's 6:32. Perhaps the Packers will move up from their number 15 slot to the Jets' number 13 slot with the Rodgers trade. Otherwise, maybe an additional middle-round pick will help generate momentum needed to reach the finish line. At this point, it has been more than a month since Rodgers appeared on the Pat McAfee show and said he wanted to join the Jets. It seemed like an inevitable conclusion at that point, and perhaps it still is, even though so much time has passed. After all, the Packers seem poised to move forward with 2020 first-round pick Jordan Love under center. Good luck with that. The Jets also don't have much leverage, considering they are perhaps only a quarterback away from being a true contender. Their defense finished fourth in the league in both yards and points allowed per game last season. They boasted their talented group of skilled players that includes wide receiver Garrett Wilson and running back Breece Hall. The lack of significant leverage on either side could be contributing to the delay. Jets only have $8.6 million in available cap space, so they'll need to make some accompanying moves to take Rodgers' contract as well. Let that be an example to the folks that have poo-pooed the 49ers thing over lack of cap space. Hell, the Jets only got $8.6 million in cap space, but they're going to get this damn near $60 million contract fit in here. Rodgers is going to have to rework it, and there's going to have to be other contracts that are sort of moved around. That's why when I do that, any kind of video involving somebody going somewhere and there's a low cap space number, I just don't put that much stock into it because they just figure it out, okay? A lot of it's got to do with how much does the owner want to take a hit on directly right at that point from moving around and moving things over into signing bonuses and all kinds of things. They can work, a cap expert can work magic with the cap. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated wrote Wednesday that, quote, chances are very high that Rodgers will become a Jet between now and early Friday night. Rapoport's report of renewed discussions further drives home that point. I predicted that we would know a lot more by about 6 p.m. Central Time on Friday. That's what I think, okay? And by a lot more, I think the deal will get done by then. Now, if it doesn't, this bitch could drag on another 2.5 months, and I shit you not. We could be looking at June. My God. Oh, the videos. My goodness. So, Florio weighs in on the 49ers thing. Now, he's talking about the trade. It's likely going to happen this week with the Packers and Jets finally working out a deal. But the media abhors a vacuum with the Lamar Jackson negotiations stagnant and Tom Brady retired, in parentheses, until he isn't. Myself and John and Florio seem to be the three people on the planet that believe that Brady is probably coming back. Maybe not, but I think he's going to. Folks need to write and talk and harvest clicks regarding Rodgers. Well, that's a damn fact. Us included. He at least he owns up to it as well. You guys write your fair share of Aaron Rodgers articles, but we're going not to try not to inflate the news balloon with fugazi air. This idea that as the trade to the Jets remains delayed, the Packers could pivot to the Niners continues to defy all logic and common sense. Why? And I'm going to tell you, Florio got his ass drug in the comments over this article right here because, frankly, the 49ers are set to go out and win even better than the Jets right now, okay? And they talk about the contract here. It's just not that big a deal. Aaron Rodgers said his intention was to play for the Jets. That's the I word, Florio. Even you have brought this up on your telecast, that he used specifically the word intention on purpose because intentions can change. Until that intention changes, the destination will not, period. There has been no indication, no leak, no chatter that Rodgers has changed his intention to play for the Jets. Of course there's not. Because if that leaks out from him, Jets fans and New York media and the mainstream media is going to drag Rodgers to hell if that happens. That's just a fact. Until that happens, there's no way he's being traded to any team but the Jets. I know there's no trade clause in Rodgers' contract. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does. No one is going to trade for a 39-year-old quarterback who has a $60 million compensation package for 2023 unless he wants to be there. Well, that's a freaking fact. But who's to say he himself can't change his mind? Even the most dysfunctional team is or should be sufficiently functional to realize that. Yeah, I mean, no team wants to get him if he doesn't want to come. I get that. But I think it would take a very small sales job from the likes of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan flying out, or in this case, Rodgers is probably in California right now. A little drive, Aaron opens the door, and Kyle and John are standing there. We all know how this actually goes if they want a player. Third, where's this chatter coming from? It's New York-based voices. It makes sense. The Packers could be deliberately trying to stir up rancor in New York, hoping to pressure the Jets to get a deal done before Rodgers ends up somewhere else. And the New York voices who are pushing this possibility realize the potential value in getting folks properly agitated. Now, and that's where we'll hang out on that. But Florio's not wrong about that. And I will be the first to say that, yeah, it absolutely is a leverage play. Okay, this is a leverage play from the Packers in all likelihood. All right, to try to get the Jets worked up in a lather and get the deal done because they think there's another suitor out there. But the idea that this couldn't happen, or that Rodgers couldn't change his mind, or he couldn't be talked into it, or, oh my God, the contract, this, that, and the third, all the while there's massive flames in the air about the Niners trying to trade a quarterback right now while their starting quarterback has got a UCL elbow injury and there's rumblings of him missing the entire season. There's just that. So, I don't, the idea that the Rodgers and Niners thing is such a stretch, I just don't see that as a stretch. I don't. Now, again, could be a leverage play, and I think in all likelihood it is. But the idea that when the Niners tried to trade for this guy 2 years ago, think about this. This is, and in fairness to everything involved here, the Niners have kind of made the quarterback situation a mess over the last 3 years. But think about this. The Niners, and we don't talk about this enough, the Niners traded away all those assets for what looked like it was going to be Mac Jones, and probably should have been, because I think Kyle would have that. I think Kyle would have had that guy throw 28 touchdowns last year. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They traded away all these assets to move up in the draft for a quarterback, and hours before that very draft, they tried to trade for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just think about that. Now, that might be an indictment of sort of a train wreck situation at quarterback in the front office for the Niners, but they did try to do that. So we're calling this a reach? They traded away all those assets to move up to 3 in the draft, and hours before that very draft, they tried to trade for Aaron Rodgers. So this is weird. Okay. I mean, think about it. Tell me what you think. Black and White Sports 2 supporters. Peace. I'm out. Yeah. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.